Peace, everybody. Welcome to our new show, Improve. And we back. You know what I'm talking about. I am Akiel Karai, you know what I'm talking about. And, hey, we here. We just ain't live. But don't worry, I'll be live again in a minute. But besides all that, you know how we do when we ain't live. We go chopping well, we ain't gonna chop and screw, but we gonna chop it up. We gonna stay chopped up. Chopped up, not slopped up. There we go. We're gonna say chopped up, not slopped up with this, and take it bit by bit as we go into entertainment. Because last strong we did the last part of education. Now we're in entertainment. I think this probably came at a good time, especially when Chief was talking about things in entertainment in this recent or previous Chief You Got podcast. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know, because, future. But, but it came at the right time because, yeah, homie was dropping a lot. So, like he always do, you know what I'm talking about? But yeah, man, we are getting into entertainment. So let's just get into it. All right. So, this is the area of entertainment. Okay, for those that don't know, this is a picture of the movie Stormy Weather. You've never seen it. It's okay. It's an old movie. It's made in 1943. And it had Lena Horne, Bill Bojangles Robinson. Well, Lena Horne is in the middle. Bill Robinson, or Mr. Bojangles, Bill Bojangles Robinson is on the left, and that is Cab Calloway on the right. Also, Cab Calloway is band leader / singer. You know what I'm talking about, from those times. When jazz big band. Famous song, man, Minnie the Moocher, if you ever heard it. Interesting. It's two cool cats. Well, look at me. Two cool jazz band leaders. Sort of look the same, but not the same. Is Cab Calloway and Duke Ellington. But yeah. But it was a good movie. You had the Nicholas brothers, and you had Fat Swallow, singing "Ain't Misbehaving," and bad he sung it in a cool way. But in that part, it was actually you sort of see what we're going to talk about. You know what I'm talking about? But it got Lena Horne in it, man, and man. Just talk about gorgeous. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, and of course, it got the famous song that she sings, Stormy Dang on Weather. Because there ain't no sun up in the sky. Stormy weather. Since my girl and I ain't together. And it's just raining all the time. Mm-hmm. So yeah, man. So yeah, I just put that picture up because I thought it was cool. But, you had entertainers. I mean, especially when it comes to Bill Robinson. You know what I'm talking about? He also created the word copacetic, for those that don't know. But yeah, man. Ooh, and he also was acted or performed in a lot of Shirley Temple movies. So yeah. All right. Now, many non-white people waste too much time, energy, and money by promoting and or participating in frivolous parties and social gatherings. Most so-called social gatherings of non-white people are none other than excuses to show off or gossip and or engage in nitpicking or malicious plotting. Such contexts usually serve to do little more than promote animosity, conflict, show-offism, dishonesty, gossip, and other forms of unnecessary and destructive activity. Hey, we've all been to these social gatherings, and yeah, we that's true. We show off. We go to parties and social gatherings that are not constructive, and then before you know it, it results into gossip and malicious plotting and fighting and dishonesty and things like that. You're already being dishonest at the party, you know. Now, for those, it depends on the era of which, some had those basement parties that I used to hear about so much that apparently was off the chain. I don't know. The basement parties, you know what I'm talking about, or parties with the red light. But yeah, man, or the juke joint. Yeah, we take the juke joint. For those that know what that is, going through errors and whatnot, juke joint, whatever, or roof parties. Yeah, roof parties. That too. Never been to one of those, but yeah, roof parties too. But yeah, man, it never, it only promotes a lot of negative aspects or negative traits. Never promotes anything positive, But the conflict is always a big one, But it's all, as Nila Fuller says, it's show offism. You know what I'm talking about? It's all show offism, because one of these things is going to happen. It's going to be dishonest. Somebody's going to gossip. They're going to gossip, and there's going to be some animosity, what I'm talking about. And hey, a fight is more than likely to break out. We all know this. So yeah. Now, the 4 basic show-offisms by the victims of racism is showing off to each other the things that white people have allowed them to attain. Yeah, you get your money, man, and you're going to show off your clothes. You're going to show off your car. You know what I'm talking about? Going to show off your shoes. You know what I'm talking about? Or your jewelry, So yeah, all of that is true. You putting on, man. I mean, hey, So yeah, showing off to each other the information that white people have allowed them to obtain. That's a big one as well, because you can see that to this day, man. Especially on YouTube, everybody trying to show off information, or what they know, or regurgitate, to make themselves look smart, or like they have the authority on some type of issue. But they really, do they really know it? Or they just putting on a front, you know what I'm talking about? So yeah, showing off to each other the ability to belittle each other. We all know what signifying is, playing the dozens and roasting, things like that. You know what I'm talking about? We all know those people that were just good at it. You know what I'm talking about? They'll show that ability to belittle you and make fun of you, make fun of your clothes, things like that. It was just, I wasn't one of those people. It took me a minute to get that good. Or at least a little good. Because rhyme and reason. But it took me years. I was not good at it. I always wanted to be, but no, I wasn't that good. Yep. So yeah, you actually had to have humor, a sense of humor, a really good sense of humor, and be able to put things together. Yeah, it took me a minute, but that's another part of show-offism that we display. Which breeds what? Animosity and conflict. So showing off to each other their ability to make sexual impressions on each other, right? Hey, yo. We all do it in some type of way, but usually it's with clothing, especially if you're the female nature, guys do it too, cut off shirt or whatever and things like that, muscle shirts, whatever, but it goes, 0 to 100 when it comes to female clothing sometimes. Especially, well, at least where you're from, at least where I'm from, especially when it's winter. People it's not even summer. It's 30 degrees outside. Hey, you got your legs out. It's like, well, actually 20. It's 20, but we treat it like it's 30. You really? Like, the wind go kick up. I'm just saying. But yeah, man. But we show off that ability, like that's supposed to be something in order to seduce, you could probably say. But yeah, that's another form of a basic form of show-offism as well, So yeah, man. Now, many non-white people spend much time, energy, and money showing off to each other. They do this as a means of trying to make the overall effects of racism, white supremacy on their personal affairs seem unimportant and or non-existent. This show-offism serves no constructive purpose. It only helps non-white people to become more pitiful, primitive, stupid, and or silly in comparison to the activities of the white supremacists, racists, and or in comparison to white people in general. Yeah. When you look at the psychological effect, the background, that's really what it is about, to make it look like, racism don't exist, or it doesn't affect me because look, I got money. I'm getting the bag. You know what I'm talking about? And you see what I have. That's not, racism or white supremacy ain't gonna affect me until you just say like that, until you hear them sirens calling. Then you realize, that's when it starts to affect you. But I would say, yeah, man, it makes things seem unimportant, and non-existent. And then you be like, racism don't exist. Look at all that I have, But the show-offisms serve no constructive purpose, It just makes you look more pitiful, and stupid, which, other cultures will look at you stupid, because why? They have more cultural means of say it like this. When she was talking about what was it, like 3 strongs ago? Well, a couple strongs ago, he said it in the chat when we in show and prove um how the dominant society likes to show off pedigree, not material things and whatnot. They rather show off, what their children are doing and things like that, pedigree, see how that doesn't um add up. That's something more solid, to show off, lineage. Whereas transient material things that depreciate in value over time is stupid, silly. You know what I'm talking about? Got a new car, and then once you drive it off the lot, depreciation value just like that. Now, me personally, I like old schools, but I definitely like old schools. Of the 40s and whatnot. And even those old school Model Ts, talk about, because somebody's, you wait, you sometimes see them, but they look cool when them hot rods, man. I tell you, but yeah, usually it's some, old 9 millimeter rich guy just riding around in this 1935. You'd be like, wow, like, and you look like this, he got that money. But yeah, man. But yeah, they usually would rather show off lineage, bloodline, and the pedigree of their bloodline. So message. Stop showing off stuff that is just not worth it. But yeah, man. Now, as long as racism, white supremacy exists, any deliberate gathering of more than 2 people, specifically one non-white male with one non-white female, should always be for the purpose of doing constructive labor or exchanging constructive information. Hey, cut and dry. Don't be what Newman Fully has always said in podcasts and videos. Black people should stop celebrating and stop gathering, in places where it's not constructive. And here you go. If you're going to meet somebody, it should be with the purpose of doing constructive labor or exchanging constructive information. And I knew we could probably say that constructive information is courtship, as an example. But yeah, constructive, doing something constructive with your time. If you're gonna get, if it ain't for that purpose, why y'all need, talk about to much ado about nothing. For those that know, But yeah, man. Now, know and understand that the white supremacist racists have a substantial influence on the ways in which non-white people are so-called entertained. much of this so-called entertainment has often included poisonous drinks, or drugs, gossip, name calling, trivial and or dangerous conversation, um, and unnecessary hostility due to an artificial need to appear more intelligent, more important, or more prosperous than anyone else. Yes. Um, because, especially when it comes to things on social media platforms, you know, um, where it be TV, movies, whatever, it's always you gotta understand it's not of your own doing. It's still controlled. um, and this is what they say is entertainment for you. You know, um, so many dang on shows. So many. We you all know them. So there's no point. But that's so-called your entertainment. You even got your own channel. It's called Black Entertainment. You know, like that's supposed to be for you. It ain't been entertainment since they. It has been. It ain't been entertainment since Teen Summit. Maybe Teen Summit. It was actually constructive when they had Teen Summit on. But I barely remember Teen Summit. But I do remember, those older knees, they used to rave about Teen Summit. Or Our People. Like when I saw a few episodes of Our People on YouTube, I was like, this is what I missed. I missed this type of dialogue and conversation. And this song, what? Because you be so used to videos and whatnot and other things. I didn't know they had that type of programming. You know. So all the entertainment is what I would say as probably how Dr. Amos Wilson would probably say it's fuel for your regression and not for your evolution. Because what all you see is in these so-called entertainment social media platforms, and various social media platforms is what gossip, name calling, trivial or dangerous conversation, and or hostility due to artificial need to appear more important or more prosperous than anyone else. You know, there's always somebody gossiping. There's always somebody saying, they who divulge information on who they sleeping with or something or this and that. It, bro. And then there's the name calling, and then then there's the fight, and then there's the non-constructive stuff that just don't make any sense, all because of somebody's need or ego to feel more important than they really are, So yeah, remember, ego easing God out. Chief said that, or he used to preach that. When he was a youth preacher, I believe. You know what I'm talking about? I didn't go, but I thought it was cool. I thought that was a good acronym. I thought that was a good acronym. I was like, yo, for real though, you see the ego, it really do be easing y'all out. Just say it. The bigger it is, the bigger it ease him out. Ease him out of you. But yeah. This comes from Proverbs 16:28. A perverse man sows strife, and a whisper separates the best of friends. You know, deals with gossiping and backbiting and talking and slander. So yeah, this helps along with entertainment, man. Um, because what do you see? Those that do, especially when it comes to entertainment and things like that, um, their perversion shows what? Strife. In their whispers, that gossip separates the best of friends or communities or even culture and families, you know. Um, Especially, on TV and things like that, all these things, it's non-constructive. It's just non-constructive, you know. Now, non-people, non-white people have been greatly poisoned by the white supremacists to such an extent that when substantial numbers of non-white people gather for purposes of entertainment, the poisoned speech and action by the people does not produce a single activity that can truthfully be evaluated as constructive. Ayo. Usually we have these gatherings. Um, Once every year, you know, and you know, especially when it comes to award shows. And then, you know, uh, they have these, but they're for purposes of what? Entertainment, or to acknowledge those in entertainment. And, there's always, and then you always see this part where they try to have a segment where it's meant to be sort of to acknowledge constructive people. And it's like anything but, some people get lifetime achievement awards or, this certain person award, and you're just like, it can't be truthfully evaluated as constructive, especially when you don't know who these people are. Like, who that? I don't know. Who are these people? But they say they in the community. It's like, where? Talk about. you know who? Never heard of them. you know but yeah, man, you know um we gather for entertainment, but what? Poison speech, and action, um deteriorates the whole gathering. You know what I'm talking about? So there's no it's like there's no point. There's no point at all. You know what I'm talking about? So keep your tongue from evil and your lips from telling lies. Psalms 34:13. I feel like that was a nice nice that you go, hey yo. you know. Look, here we are looking for, we're going over a code book. But look, if you look at it, if you don't look at, the the Torah, the Helios Biblios, as somebody else's stuff and look at it as your own, look. that's a whole look. Don't be look. That's a whole code in itself. Don't be gossiping. Don't be slandering. Keep your you know keep your lips from telling lies. That sounds like something that your grandma would say for sure. Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from telling lies. That is a whole country saying right there. You know what I'm talking about. you know. And you know what she talking about, because you like, in other words, you know, in order to keep her from cussing, you know. You know, and they and messing up her walk with Jesus. She has to say that in other in order from saying, hey, shut the up. You know what I'm talking about. But yes, you know. So message. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah. Nah. Many times with the best intentions, the lack of a constructive code um, of behavior and the lack of a constructive goal to be achieved allows aimless or whimsical speech and action among those present. Silly and stupid speech and or action, sometimes encouraged and glorified, too often becomes prominent to the point of disaster. Yeah, you know, we glorified um, things and people that we really should, you know, to the point of disaster. You know, I think that comes with, well, it's not just me, but um, especially if that comes with idol worship, you know, and idolatry, in the sense where you see these people in entertainment and you um, see how prominent they are, but you don't know how they got that, what their lives look like, but you always um, looking back at them as a focal point to where you need to be. You know, no one. It's amazing. It's like, um, especially, it seems like, especially with people who say they have information or whatever, um, or you know, great information. One thing they never say is, you know, be a righteous person or live a righteous life or something like that. You know, be honest. You know, have character, things like that. You know, they always tell you a solution, which is material and has a little value, but it never tells you. It never tells you to rethink, self-evaluate, and become a more righteous person, a more righteous being. You know what I'm talking about? You know, like you can get all these things and still be, you know, messed up. You know, the best way I can say it. You know, but there really is not a constructive code of behavior. Everybody just running wild, like little child running wild. Okay, yeah, I like that song. You know, so yeah, you know, you treat them like animals. That's exactly how they'll behave. Lean on me. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah. Hey yo, we watch Marvin Cons, and like I said, you know, just when I was looking for Joe Clark to show up, there he was. So yeah, man. So hostility too often creeps into so-called festivities. Fighting sometimes erupts. Killings happen so often that in many such circumstances, many deaths can be expected and or predicted. Hey yo, yeah, man. I mean, we all go to these festivities, and what happens? Sooner or later, somebody gonna get shot over some trivial, you know. We've all been to those festivities where it happens. Well, some of us, but now mind you, some of us more than one. Mind you, that's a traumatic experience, but we still keep going. Not knowing when it's gonna happen, or we can predict it, but like, yeah, we probably need to get out of here because certain entities, them boys from over there, they from woo, they about that. Time to go. I know, So, but we've all been there, where the fight erupts, whether it be after school, at the party, at some big event, that the city throws every year, or events that the city throws every year. There's always one, So yeah, but because of that, death and fights and conflict can be expected or predicted. You already know. Like they say, you can feel it in the air. It's like, something ain't right. The energy's off. Somebody about to start fighting. It's all fun and games till somebody start busting. Sporty only double-licious. Yeah, that was the story. The whole story. That was so cool. But, Capri was set off in the right. But it all brings perfectly. Let the liquor tell it. But in all actuality, it's about 3 a.m. And 2 got hauled off in the ambulance. Sliced up. 1 started busting. Bam. And 1 just took a shot off saying, who else wanna what Hollywood call? And that's just my interpretation of the situation. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, man. Like I say, it's non-constructive. You know what I'm talking about? It just it goes into a place that it need not go. So, yeah.
And not only that, it's worse than that. When we're showing off to each other, then we get an attitude about the showing off. And then we start fighting each other.
Right.
And then we can't speak to each other. And then when we start speaking to each other, we start all over again, doing the same thing. We never get out of that rut. So what's the remedy for that? I put it in the book. No contact, no conflict. Have you ever noticed people that you haven't seen in a long time, how well you get along with them?
Right.
For the first 15 minutes anyway.
And
until all the poison starts coming out. Because we do carry poison. The white supremacists have poisoned every one of us, truth be told. And that poison, if we're around each other long enough, comes to the surface. Sometimes when we least expect it. Sometimes when we don't even think we have that poison in us. So we have to face that fact too. So how do we handle that? Everything that we do, here's the way. This is in the book. We're talking about solutions now, because everything in this book that I wrote is about solutions, not just talking about the problem going around in a circle. This is very, 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 very important. You minimize conflict by minimizing all unnecessary, non-constructive contact. That would go instantly all over the world. I mean, and have a tremendous effect, a shock effect on the system of white supremacy. Just that one thing alone. If people of color would only contact each other when there's something constructive to say or do. No idle chatter. I know it's an old tradition, but it's a slave tradition. Or it's a tradition of people who are absolutely what we call free, who have no problems. if we were all in Oz and Shangri-La, in a perfect society, in a perfect world, there would be no problem. And just kumbaya. Hallelujah. Everything is just fine. But we are prisoners of war. So therefore, we have to be serious about serious things. And one of the best ways that will instantly have a tremendous effect, constructive effect, on relationships throughout the entire world, if we just start right with this day. I'm not talking about anything that takes a long, drawn-out ceremony of some type. I'm talking about overnight, like in the next 5 minutes. This will have a shock effect all over the world if every black person on the planet right now, within the sound of my voice, and amplify that voice all over the world, we do not contact anyone for any reason unless the person that you contact can and agrees to engage in something constructive to do or say. It's got to be constructive. That word is very important. And something you can measure that's constructive. I mean, you're going to repair something, or you're going to fix something, or you're going, that needs repairing, or you're going to build something. But whatever the activity is, you say, I'm not talking to you or anybody else. It's not personal, it's business. Until we think of some way that when we do contact each other, we have something constructive, something that's going to have a measurable constructive effect that we are going to say or do, because everything in the universe is about saying and doing. Even among animals, among ants, it's about saying and doing. An ant does something when it gets with another ant. That's a code. They have a code for doing something that's going to be constructive, as a rule. However, even the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom and the insect kingdom, if you want to call it that, is all messed up on this planet because people are messed up, and for some reason everything is just all messed up. But you can clean up mess by vowing that every time you make a contact with someone, it's never going to be for a non-constructive reason.
All right. Well, that's the man himself, none other for Junior. Hey yo, no contact, no conflict. You know what I'm talking about? But I always come with the agreement that when we do meet, we are meeting for a constructive thing to fix something, build something, or exchange constructive information. You know what I'm talking about? And that would help. Like, you have to follow the logic of all of this. When you see gatherings that are non-constructive, over a lifetime period, you realize what's the issue. Well, the issue is that we don't gather for constructive things. They have constructive value and results. So therefore, if we set the precedent that we don't meet unless it's for something of constructive value, then constructive results will happen. Just say it like that. You know what I'm talking about? And hey, but then I think of, hey, what you say, no hammers, no hoods. And of course it's me, he's like, yeah, I got hammers. Yeah, I got hammers, yeah, so I got hammers, I got bats, I got I got wait, I'm gonna give me a club. Ooh, yeah, I do got a war club, but I'm in a club too. I got screwdrivers and screws loose. Therefore, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, man, it should always be constructive and something to build constructive value to. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, man. Join us next strong. Well, we will. Well, we gonna continue with entertainment. Part 2. You know what I'm talking about. We are going to continue with that and get more into it. Like I say, we gonna keep it chopped up. And bite size. Because I shall return. Like MacArthur. But But yeah, man. But give thanks to everybody. Don't forget that we have our new fellowship tomorrow, because it's not tomorrow for me, but tomorrow. And then we have midday affirmation. And don't forget, we gonna have a movie. I don't know what it is yet, but it's gonna be good because Peaceful Warrior was good. So, like I say, future. So whatever the movie is, it's gonna be good. And don't forget, I New Retreat in August. You know what I'm talking about. Like I always say, man, we gonna be in that NOLA, so you gotta come to New Orleans, and we gonna have fun, and fellowship, and bring an instrument. Bring an instrument and just come hang with us, come. So yeah, man. Also, Chief, you got podcast. Future, future. So whatever he brings out, I know it's banging. We probably still gonna continue with you know what? I ain't gonna speak on it if I don't know future. But wherever the podcast is, wherever the episode is, it's gonna slap and it's a straight banger. Like all his stuff is, it's fire. Just gonna say like that, But yeah, man. So give thanks to everybody, and I will see y'all next strong. You know what I'm talking about. So give thanks and peace.